President Trump is very upset at President Zelensky, and in some cases, and rightfully so. Look, number one, Joe Biden had frustrations with Zelensky. People shouldn't forget it. There are newspaper articles out there about how he cursed at him in a phone call because Zelensky, instead of saying thank you for all your help, is immediately out there messaging what we're not doing or what he's not getting. I think the second thing is, frankly, I was personally very upset because we had a conversation with President Zelensky, the vice president and I, the three of us, and we discussed this issue about the mineral rights. And we explained to them, look, we want to be in a joint venture with you, not because we're trying to steal from your country, but because we think that's actually a security guarantee. If we're your partner in an important economic endeavor, we get to get paid back some of the money the taxpayers have given, close to $200 billion. And it also, now we have a vested interest in the security of Ukraine. And he said, sure, we want to do this deal. It makes all the sense in the world. The only thing is I need to run it through my legislative process. They have to approve it. I read 2 days later that Zelensky's out there saying, I rejected the deal. I told him, no way, that we're not doing that. Well, that's not what happened in that meeting. So you start to get upset by somebody. We're trying to help these guys. One of the points the president made in his messaging is not that we don't care about Ukraine, but Ukraine is on another continent. You know, we care about it because it has implications for our allies and ultimately for the world. There should be some level of gratitude here about this. And when you don't see it and you see him out there accusing the president of living in a world of disinformation, that's very counterproductive. And
Look, I started following this Russian-Ukraine war from day one, and I want you to put down today's date. Today is 23rd of February 2025, right? Put down today's date. America will get rid of Zelensky. Before Zelensky, there was a man called Ngo Dinh Diem. He was the leader of South Vietnam. In fact, America presented Ngo Dinh Diem as the beacon of democracy, as a man who was fighting for the free world, exactly the way they are presenting Zelensky to us. Ngo was 100% dictator, but America and the West presented him as an angel, and eventually everybody fell for it. But Ngo had a problem. Ngo Dinh Diem was never satisfied with anything America did for him. He was constantly begging for more, asking for more, exactly the way Zelensky is doing. The bombs that America dropped on Hanoi is more than the total bombs used in World War II. America went ahead and sent over 500,000 troops to go and support Ngo. But Ngo was never satisfied. Ngo never appreciated all this. America did all this because it was during the Cold War. And if they allowed North Vietnam to win the war, it was going to be a win for Russia. Clearly, Ngo was becoming a problem for America. Note, Dinh Diem became the leader of South Vietnam from 1955 all the way to 1963. So by 1963, America had enough of this guy. They were fed up with him. They wanted him out of power. But they couldn't take him out openly because this is the same guy they presented to the whole world as a beacon of democracy. This guy was fighting for human rights, values, blah, blah, blah. So they couldn't kick him out openly. So America did what they know how to do best. Coup d'etat. Make no mistake, the 1963 Vietnam or South Vietnam so-called revolution was orchestrated by America. America was 100% involved. America knew about the coup d'etat. In fact, they were the master planners behind this coup d'etat. When I was narrating this history, what came to your mind? Zelensky, right? Well, this is the fate that awaits Zelensky. I don't know how many of you follow what is happening, between Trump administration and Zelensky. But they are now fighting openly, right? According to Trump administration, Zelensky is not, a good guy. He can't be trusted. Trump recently called him a dictator. Zelensky fired back, on one podcast, claiming that Americans wanted their resource and he rejected it right away. So, basically, tension between and Trump administration and Zelensky, things are not actually going well at all. And there is only one outcome. And you know it already. Trump called Zelensky a dictator, and Trump is 100% right. Note, this Zelensky guy refused to allow elections in Ukraine. And his reason is, we are fighting, so we can't hold elections, which is absolutely nonsense. It doesn't make any sense. One of the most famous names in World War II is Frank D. Roosevelt. When Roosevelt died in 1945, right? The very year that the war ended. The Americans went ahead and chose somebody to lead them. What happened? Nothing. Even where they are fighting, the Luhansk and Donetsk Oblast, right? The whole of Donbass. A referendum was held during the war. These guys were able to vote. A referendum was held there. So what do they mean by because of the war they can't hold elections? It doesn't make any sense. We can't organize elections because we are fighting a war. Oga, shut up. Shut up. Oh. You are fighting with Russia. Russia organized elections recently. Who are you fighting against? Russia. So how come the Russians were able to organize elections and you can do? So last week, Trump administration held a meeting with Zelensky, and what Trump administration want from Zelensky is simple. In order for them to continue to support them militarily, Ukraine must surrender all their resources to America. Are you surprised? Anybody who followed this platform wouldn't be surprised, because I told you guys from day one that America will go in for Ukrainian resource. I told you guys from day one. And Zelensky accepted. Now, according to these diplomats or Trump diplomats, Zelensky accepted. He said, oh, it makes sense. If you're supporting us militarily, then there should be some economic, trade between us. Zelensky accepted, and Zelensky told them that, okay, I'll go and talk to my cabinet, and I'll get back to you. 2 days after this meeting, Zelensky went on a podcast and he started bragging. They said they want to arrest us, and I rejected it right away. I told them that that is not going to happen. And the diplomats are like, that is not what we discussed. That is not what you told us. This is not the first time that diplomats are actually speaking against Zelensky. You know, when he meet them, he says something different. When he comes to the public, he gives a different narrative, or he says something different. I hope you guys remember somewhere in 2022, is it Naftali or whatever his name is, right? Former Israeli prime minister. He also came out and said the same thing. He said Zelensky was begging him to go and beg Putin not to get rid of him, right? Not to unalive him, right? I don't want to use the keyword. And Naftali Bennett, I hope I'm right, I stand to be corrected, Naftali Bennett or something like that, he went and spoke to Putin, and Putin assured him that he was not going to unalive Zelensky. So when Naftali called Zelensky and told him that, oh, Putin said he's not going to unalive you, boom, Zelensky came online and started bragging. He started, this guy, look, it will make more sense when you watch the video yourself, right? The diplomats who sat and discussed this whole thing with Zelensky. There is a video. They explain into details what happened. I'll post the video on my YouTube channel. Check in my bio. Link to my YouTube channel is there. Or go to YouTube and search for Timo Media 360. Timo Media 360. The first video you see, yes, that is the video. So I'm going to post it right now. Go there and check it out. And don't forget to also subscribe to my YouTube channel, right? Shalom. See you guys in the next episode.